Hello everyone, we're back once again. I'm Tim. I work for 𝗏𝘂𝗃𝗲. We go live every week, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am a part of the Gearheads on Demand service that we offer at 𝗏𝘂𝗃𝗲. Gearheads on Demand is a service where you can schedule a phone call with me or a video session with me. We can talk one-on-one about your golf cart related issue. I might be able to help you out. I may have seen it before. I may have some experience in that area. I was the owner and operator of a golf cart shop for about 15 years, so I've seen a lot of things. It never ceases to amaze me how somebody can come up with something new, though. But I might be able to help you even with that. I might have an idea on how to approach it. So anyway, if you're interested in that service that we offer, click the link in the description and that will take you to the scheduling page, and that's where you can schedule an appointment with me, an appointment phone call or an appointment video session where I'll send a link to your phone, and all you do is you click the link and I can see through your camera in your phone and I can see what you're pointing at. If you have a question about identification of a part or identification of a cart or something like that, I might be able to help you with that. We come here like I said, twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tim, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today is Tuesday, September the 27th. It's noon Central Time, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube right now. We're live. Every time we come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we go live on Facebook and YouTube. We're live right now. If you're listening to me on the 27th, Tuesday at 12 noon, I'm live right now. Anything could happen. This is episode 59. I've got some regularly scheduled questions here that we're going to go over, and I'll be checking the chat, see if anybody's in the live chat that has anything to say. Feel free to ask a question in the live chat. Feel free just to say what's up, Tim, in the live chat. All right, since the garage is now open, we're going to get started with question number 1. No power to club car. Has brand new batteries, solenoid, engine, wiring, and motor. So pretty much everything is brand new on my club car. I was having problems before, no power with the pedal on and off. Now it's doing the same thing and not charging. All right, you could possibly likely have 2 separate issues. So let's just tackle them one at a time. And the first issue that we need to tackle is the not charging issue. You might think it would be the other way around, but we need to tackle the not charging issue because the not charging issue could be causing the other issue, the not running issue. So let's tackle the not charging issue. My first question would be, what's the voltage in the entire battery pack? You know, I want to know what your voltage is across the whole battery pack. Like 1 lead of your voltmeter, on first battery positive, the other lead of your voltmeter on the last battery negative, and tell me what the voltage is across the entire pack, because that charger has to see a certain amount of volts for it to come on, and if you're too low, it's not going to come on. So then we got to go a route to get your voltage up in your battery pack in order to turn your charger on. I would want to do that first before we even talk about the other problem. I would want to get that out of the way first, and so that's what I would need on that in order to proceed. All right, so number 2. I have a Club Car DS and I'm having a problem with the steering wheel. Once I turn it to the right, it gets stuck and I can't turn it to the left, but I'm able to manually move the tires back. I already replaced the steering box assembly, but the problem persists. Any suggestions? I have actually seen that before. You turn the steering wheel all the way one direction and it kind of locks in place, and if you'll look at your front end, if you'll get off your cart, you'll see that it actually went too far and locked into place, and you can grab it with your hand and unlock it. Well, the only thing that causes that is that you either have something bent or you have a tremendous amount of slack somewhere, like in your tie rod ends, in your spindles themselves. Since you replaced the steering box, if you hadn't replaced the steering box, I would have said the steering box, but you've got something out of adjustment or a tremendous amount of slack or something bent. Okay, let's see. Number 3. I have a 2010 Yamaha G29. It is non-lifted and does not have rear heavy-duty springs. I have a rear seat kit and want to put 18.5-inch tall tires. I'm wondering if I run the chance of rubbing if I carry 2 adults on the front, driver included, and 2 adults on the rear. Stock tire height is about 18 inches. So you're wanting to go to 18.5 plus a rear seat kit with 2 adults without heavy duty leaf springs. So the answer to your question would be, to me, in my opinion, yes, you would have a chance of rubbing. At Golf Cart Garage, in general, every seat kit that we, unless a customer specifically does not want to do it, every seat kit, every 4-passenger kit that we sell, we usually recommend a set of heavy-duty leaf springs if your car has leaf springs. In your case, your car doesn't have leaf springs. A Yamaha has coilovers in the rear, but they make heavy-duty coilovers. A golf cart in general is only designed to handle about 800 pounds of weight. Okay, so you're putting taller tires, and you've got, let's just say an adult is 200 pounds. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You're talking about 800 pounds in just adults if the average weight is 200 pounds, plus the weight of the 4-passenger kit. Some 4-passenger kits can weigh up to 100 pounds themselves. So you already have 100 pounds hanging off the rear of your car, and then you put 2 adults on it and 2 in the car. So in my opinion, you would have a good chance of rubbing if you didn't make the adjustment of putting the heavy duty springs on your shocks in the rear. All right, we'll come back to number 4. Let me check Facebook and YouTube and see what's going on there, if anybody's has a question. Oh yeah, we got Ricky Smith in YouTube. What's up, Ricky Smith? He says, "Hi Tim, I have a 2005 36-volt EZGO PDS, and I have 2 questions. If I can carry my batteries are 1 month, if I can. My batteries are 1 month old, and after charging and resetting, they are showing 38.4 volts. Is this correct?" Okay, well, at rest, that would be fine. Like if you're talking about, what I mean by at rest, Ricky, is that the charger's not running. So if your charger's not running, a fully charged pack could be 38.4 volts. That's so far that's perfectly normal. So that's not bad at all. Now let's get to your second question. I put the personality plug, aka freedom chip, red plug, on it, and it only increased the speed from 13 to 14. Any ideas why that would be? Okay, actually, if everything is working correctly, that freedom chip, which is just a plug in a stock PDS, a non-lifted PDS, it should be more like 19. So you might want to do, let's say your batteries are 1 month old, so I don't think it's going to be your batteries. You're saying 13 to 14, and that's GPS verified? I mean, you got a GPS app on your phone? Because it should be about 19 with that freedom plug in, because PDSs run, even a 36 volt PDS, they run pretty fast if everything is working normal with that red chip in there. Okay, Christine Taylor is in the chat. What's up, Christine Taylor? And she says, "Are the seat covers easily changed, stapled?" I have done the seat covers before. They're easily changed, but you need to get a good staple gun. In fact, you'll wear your hand out if you try to use a manual staple gun, heavy duty manual staple gun. So I got a electric staple gun. So you just pull the trigger. That makes it a lot easier. So you might want to invest in that. Let's see, where was we at? Number 4. Is there a way to get rid of the acid buildup? Maybe acid is the wrong word, but the gunk that sometimes build up at the end of the cables. Most of the time, the acid buildup at the end of the cables it's a cause and effect thing that happens. The cause is sometimes people putting too much water in their batteries, What happens during a lot of people, I don't like to hear people say, yeah, I topped off the batteries. That makes my skin crawl just a little bit, because topping off gives me the impression that you filled them all the way up to the top. Well, that is too much water, and that can cause this issue that you're describing. Because what happens during the charge cycle is that the water level rises just a little bit. So if they're already to the top, and then you put your car on charge, that acid's going to come out. It's going to go to the first place that has metal, and that's your lead post and your cable ends that are connected to your lead post. And that can lead to corrosion, that can lead to loose connections, that can lead to all kinds of problems. So first thing you do is not fill your batteries all the way to the top. Just put distilled water just a little bit over the top of the lead plates. Use distilled water because of the absence of minerals in distilled water. They don't like minerals that can lower the lifespan of your batteries if you use mineral water. So a little bit over the lead plates, and then just under the top. That gives the water level time to rise, a little bit of space to rise, and a little bit of space to fall during the charge cycle, and it falls during the use cycle, during the discharge cycle. When you're using the cart, the water level will fall a little bit. So you have to leave a little bit of space. Now, if this is a repeated thing and the cables continuously get that, then you could have that gunk and acid buildup and corrosion inside the cable, and there's nothing you can do to clean that. I mean, they get difficult to clean after they've been cleaned so many times, because that corrosion will go inside under the insulation in the cable, and it'll eat the cable up all the way back, and then you end up having loose connection problems. You could end up with melted terminals and everything. So sometimes it's best just to start over with a new cable. Clean the batteries. Don't fill them up too high, and start over with a new cable. If you've got one that's a repeated offender that continues to do that, just replace that cable. Let's see. Oh, and baking soda and water. It can be used to rinse the top of your batteries to neutralize that acid. A 50-50 mixture of baking soda and water. That's a good way to neutralize acid and clean the tops of your batteries. Let's see, number 5. My batteries are new and my charger is good. When I plug it into the slot in the cart, it doesn't charge. It seems like it's either the plug in the socket or the cart or the red wire connecting the socket to the batteries. Well, the fact that you noticed that red wire that connects the socket to the batteries, it's very likely it could be the red wire. Is there something wrong with the connection? Because if that red wire is not connected, or that red wire is all corroded up and broken under the corrosion, you don't even realize it, yes, your car won't charge. That red wire has to be clean and tight on the first battery positive post in order for the charger to come on. So the fact that you even mentioned that red wire makes me think that that's probably your issue, that you noticed it. Number 5, we're going to be on number 6, but let me check, let me just check this again, YouTube and Facebook. Looks like we're good there. All right, number 6. I would like to change to lithium batteries, but have a Navitas at 600 motor controller. Would that work, or would it shut the batteries down, safety control in the battery? Have you heard of this? I actually have heard of this. I don't know if a lot of lithium companies want to admit it or not, but I have heard of this. I don't remember which lithium battery it was. But what happens is, lithiums they're very, very strong batteries. They're excellent. But a lot of them have these safety systems because they don't like for the voltage to go too low. They don't because damage can occur. Lead acid batteries can handle a really big drop in voltage without damage occurring. Lithium, this might be one of the only cons of lithium, is that a lot of them have these fancy safety systems in it that is involved in the battery management system, that if the voltage drops just a little bit too low, it'll shut down the pack and go to limp mode. Like your cart will go into limp mode until you can get back and reset everything and then recharge the battery to get it out of limp mode. So in your case, I have heard of people that say when they gun it, it'll shut their lithium pack down because the voltage drops, I guess, a little bit too much, and the safety system shuts on. But in your case, your Navitas is programmable. Your 600 amp Navitas. So if that does happen with you and your style of driving or whatever, then you can go in there and shut your, tune your Navitas a little bit down, just so it can't hit that battery pack quite as hard. That's what I would do. I mean, you got the best controller that you could have for this situation. So I wouldn't worry about it, because you can adjust it out if it does happen. Number 7, this is from David. I have a 48 volt club car that runs slowly. Batteries are 3 years old. New speed sensor and magnet installed a couple of weeks ago. Cart runs very slow even after charging overnight. Battery meter shows 100% charged with 49.4 volts at rest. Dropped to around 29 volts under load. Batteries OBC ? Cart is charged after every use. I remember I spoke with David this past week, and we talked about his issue. So this is a question from the previous week. One of the red flags that came up when I read the description before I even spoke with him was that he had measured voltage drop down to 29. He says, what did he say there for question 7? To 29 volts. Well, turns out he measured voltage drop even lower than that. He measured voltage drop down to like 21 volts. So that, and he's running a 412 volt battery system. In his cart, he could either have 6 8-volt batteries, or he could have 4 12-volt batteries. Well, his particular one was 4 12s. So I told him what I thought. I told him, I think that you've got one of your 12-volt batteries that's dropping out way lower than the other 3, and that's causing your whole issue. So I advised him how to do a load test, a driving load test, but instead of doing the whole battery pack like he had done, that's dropping down to 21 volts, I believe is what he said. He's going to do one battery at a time, and he's going to look for one that is dropping down way lower than the other 3. And then he'd make a decision on what he wants to do, because his battery pack is 3.5 years old. So at that point, you have to make a decision. Do I just want to fix this one battery, or do I want to change all 4 of them and start over new again? So let's see, number 7, that's what I said. So we'll come back to number 8 here in a second. All right, Ricky Smith says, yes, he did the GPS app to get that speed reading. Well, that seems a little bit slow for the Freedom chip. Is your cart, you didn't tell me if your cart was lifted, had taller tires, or is it completely stock. Even if it was completely stock, you should be getting more than 14 on flat ground. With no plug, it was 13, and with the plug, 14. Unless the controller has been changed and already upgraded, therefore like we sell well, there's a company called Flight Systems Industrial Products, FSIP. They rebuild controllers. They do an upgrade to a PDS controller like yours, where the speed chips and all the other chips don't even make any difference anymore. They just rebuild the controller, but the plugs won't make any difference. But your controller would have a sticker on it. You might not be able to see it because the sticker would be on the bottom. Do you know for a fact that your controller has never been rebuilt? Because I can assure you, a stock controller in your 2005 36 volt EZGO TXT PDS with the Freedom chip would definitely make a difference in speed on flat ground. So we would have to determine what the deal is, and if it's not your controller, then you might ought to look at your ITS. Under your floor mat, you have an ITS. That is the potentiometer for your particular car. It could be out of adjustment, and you're going to have to look up the ITS test for an EZGO and test for voltage on certain wires there to see. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, what the test is, but you can look that up, and I'm sure it'd be easy to find. But your numbers don't sound right if everything is fine. That's for sure. We're going to going to be on number 8 right now. Let's see. I have a 2004 RXV 48 volt with 4-inch lift kit on it. Has been on it for about 2 years. My problem is that it is starting to wobble around when driving. I rotated the tires, it still does it. There's very little play in the bushing in front end. Just wondering if it could be the rack and pinion. Thanks, Shawn. Well, since it's just starting to wobble around, you know, it's just starting to bother you, that would tell me that you're developing slack somewhere. You know, you're getting, as something is wearing, and it has been wearing slowly over time, and you're developing slack somewhere. So you might want to get somebody to help you, get somebody to sit in the cart, and they turn the steering wheel a little bit, and you go to the front of the cart and look at the tires, or even hold one of the tires and see if you can see where the slack is. See if it's in your rack and pinion, see if it's in your spindle, see if it's in your tie rods. You know, just try to hold the tire still and let somebody turn the steering wheel just a little bit, and sometimes you'll see those rods moving and you can pinpoint where your slack is at. You're obviously developing slack somewhere. Let's see. Also changed, Ricky Smith says he also changed battery cables from 6 gauge to 4 gauge. Well, if I can tell you this, if there was nothing wrong with your cart to begin with, and you changed from 6 gauge to 4 gauge, you're not going to tell any difference. I mean, that's not going to tell any difference. That is just changing to 4 gauge, changing to bigger cables really only comes into play if you're going to start replacing your motor, and you're going to upgrade your controller, and you're going to pull a whole lot more amps. 6 gauge is fine if your car is completely stock. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Let's see. Number 9 is where we were at. Can I totally replace the 1987 EZGO 2-cycle with a newer 4-cycle engine? Well, anything's possible, but you have to ask yourself some questions. Like my first question, I mean, how much fabrication work are you willing to do? Are you good at that kind of stuff? Here's an important question that you might not have thought of. Do you want reverse? Do you want reverse? Because if you want reverse in your swap, then you're not only going to have to change the engine, you're going to have to change the transaxle. You're going to have to change the whole thing with the transmission and everything. So that's just something to think about. But I've seen people do it. I've read about people doing that conversion on their old golf carts on the golf cart forums that I frequent all the time. So you can look at the golf cart forums. One of them is Buggy's Gone Wild. One of them is 𝗏𝗂𝗁𝑥.com. There's a design section on both of those golf cart forums where people do things like what you're talking about. There's a research and development section where they post all kinds of projects that people do, and yeah, it's definitely been done. It's just up to you to decide whether or not you're willing to take that on. Let's see. I got 𝗚𝗂𝗁𝗀𝗃62. What's up, 𝗚𝗂𝗁𝗃? Hey Tim, thank you for your help. When I drive my 2002 TXT with 2 in the cart, my golf buddy is a big man. See, a while ago when I said average of 200 pounds apiece, his buddy's 350 pounds. So yeah, put heavy duty springs on your coilovers on your 4-passenger kit. I'm 260. I get a banging on the passenger side. Could it be leaf springs, shocks? Well, what is your car? Oh, 2002. Okay. It would not be unusual at all for if your leaf springs have never had the bushings changed. It would not be unusual at all for a 2002 for the leaf spring bushings to just be disintegrated and not even be in there. You could have metal to metal going on in your rear leaf springs, and that will make a banging sound. What you can do is just go look at the rear of your leaf springs, and you'll see where they connect to the shackle. there's a shackle, and your leaf spring connects inside the shackle, and there's a bolt going through it. Well, there's supposed to be bushings on both ends of the leaf spring. So check both sides and see if you still have those bushings, because you might be running metal to metal right there. All right, let's see. We're going down to the last. Well, let me check Facebook and see what's going on there. No, everything's cool on Facebook. We just got some chatters on YouTube today. All right, last question is, or last regularly scheduled question. I'll check with the live chat after this. I have a club car model A95 95 club car DS electric. My speed control on my cart is not consistent. It is jerky sometimes. Are there other possibilities, issues for this cart? Well, you could have that half year 95, like half year 95, 96, and 97. They used a type of potentiometer that was so wonky that they didn't use it for very long. They ended up stopping using it because it gave them too much trouble. So, and it was in late 95, 96, and 97. So you most likely have that, and that's what's causing your inconsistency in your speed control. There is, because of that, and because it's not available anymore, it's not available to purchase and put a brand new one in there, they came out with what's called a pre-𝗟𝗂𝗲 to 𝗟𝗂𝗲 conversion kit. It's a very expensive kit, but it includes a lot of stuff. It converts your existing throttle input signal to an 𝗟𝗂𝗲 throttle input signal for your cart. But it comes with all the linkages, comes with the 𝗟𝗂𝗲, comes with a couple of plug-in wiring harnesses that just plug in, and it would fix you right up. The problem is that you're not the only one in this situation, and they're out of stock right now. It's about a $500 kit, but they're out of stock everywhere I checked. If you would like to, you could call up one of our amazing customer service representatives at Golf Cart Garage, and they may have some more information on the availability of when that kit might be available than I do. Sometimes they know stuff about availability that I don't even have any idea about. So you could call up and talk to one of them and see if they have any info on that on the next time that we'll be able to have that in inventory. Let's see. Okay, Chemo Jack says, okay, what about the front? Noise comes from the front. Oh, okay. Well, if it comes from the front, it's very unlikely. I'll tell you this, what it's unlikely that it is. It's unlikely that it's a shock, okay? It's not going to be the shock. Now, on a 2002 TXT, there was an issue with the steering rod, the steering column, where it goes into the knuckle joint. Like if you've ever looked up under the front of your car, you'll know what I'm talking about. The steering column is a splined rod that goes into the knuckle joint. And when you're talking about the amount of weight that you're talking about, you're compressing that cart way down. And when you hit bumps, that steering rod could be bottoming out. And the fix in your case may be you might need to put heavy duty leaf springs on the front and the rear to keep your car at a steady level, you know, from carrying around the amount of weight that we're talking about here. Because if just you and your buddy and you put some golf clubs and some beer on there, then you're going to be tapping out the 800-pound thing. So I wouldn't doubt it if that could be it. Because your front springs, they don't have bushings. So as long as they're tight, that's not where the noise is coming from. And like I said, it's unlikely it's the shocks. So it could be that steering thing that I'm talking about. Let's see. Well, that looks like it's going to be about it. Remember, I'm Tim with Golf Cart Garage. We go live, do a little live session every Tuesday and Thursday at noon Central Time. So Tim, Tuesday, Thursday, noon Central Time. We'll come here every Tuesday, Thursday, go over a few questions, talk to some people in the live, see if we can help some people out. This was episode 59. I am a part of the Gearheads On Demand service. If you're interested in that service, click the link in the description. You can schedule an appointment with me. I can give you a call at whatever time is convenient for you. I can discuss a problem that you're having one-on-one with your golf cart. I can also schedule a video session where I'll send you a link to your phone. All you do is click the link at whatever time you picked, and I'll be there, and I can look through your camera. I can see what you're pointing at. Not always necessary, but sometimes it is. That looks like it's going to be about it for me this week. I wanted to wish everybody in Florida good luck, because you got a massive hurricane and lots of golf cart people in Florida, and I feel bad for all those golf carts. So secure your golf cart. Everybody in Florida, stay safe. That's going to be about it for me. I will see you, not tomorrow, but the next day. I'll see you Thursday. The garage is now closed.